Hey team, Yasin here, and in this training, we're going to be going over the introduction to phase 1. Now, this training is going to be absolutely critical to make sure that you go through so that way you understand exactly what it is that we're going to be going over here in the first couple modules of the program, which, like we've talked about, is called phase number 1. And so, like we spoke about, just to jog your memory a little bit here, remember that this program is divided into 2 phases, right? So phase number 1 you're going to be going through is called the remote wellness training. So inside of the remote wellness training is basically going to allow you to learn everything A to Z, nuts and bolts of transforming your life and how to be able to transform the lives of others, okay? Then phase number 2 is going to really where we start to ratchet this up and talk about the income and the business training portion of everything. Okay, so that's going to be inside of phase number 2. And so inside of phase number 1, we're going to have 6 different modules. Module number 1 is going to all be about the fundamentals and the foundations. That is the module that you are inside of right now. Then module number 2 is going to be all about brain training. This is going to be that training that we talked about. That's going to be where some students say that it's like seeing for the first time, where they start to understand how their brain works, why their brain is resistant to change, why they're not able to transform themselves and transform others, all of that, and then really how to be able to reprogram and hack your brain so that way it becomes effortless for you to be able to transform. All of that's going to be inside of module number 2. Then after that, we're going to go into module number 3, which is the science of transformation. You're going to learn the exact 6-step process that allows you to effortlessly help anybody and yourself transform with wellness. And then module number 4 is going to be the art of transformation. So whereas module 3 was all about the exact steps, the science, the quantitative, right? Module 4 is about the qualitative. This is all about the art. This is the skill set. How do you actually deliver those steps and that science from module 3? How do you deliver that in a way that people will actually listen to you, right? All of that's going to be in module number 4. And then module number 5, we're going to break down exactly what your wellness program is going to look like. How does this all work, right? The nuts and bolts of it. Okay, like I see 12-week programs. I see 24-week programs. What does somebody actually get when they join my wellness program? All of that we're going to discuss in excruciating detail inside of module number 5. And the biggest thing I want you to know on here is that in typical RWA fashion, we are going to be giving you everything A to Z already built out. Copy and paste, swipe files, templates, examples, everything's going to be provided for you. So I don't want you to worry. I just want you to make sure that you're focusing on showing up to the trainings every single day, every single week, whatever schedule you're on right now. Okay. And then finally, module number 6 is going to be where we go ahead and focus on getting your first handful of clients. And those are probably going to end up being test clients, so that way you can start to get your confidence in this, push back any imposter syndrome. We're going to help you with all of that so that way you can be successful with this. Now, one thing I want you to know about about phase number 1 is that phase number 1 really is all about 2 journeys. And so you are going to be taking this journey inside of phase number 1 for 2 people. And I want you to keep this mindset in mind. The first person that you're going to be taking this journey for is a journey for yourself. And then the second person that you're going to be taking this journey for is a journey for your clients, aka the people that you're going to be helping who are not yourself, okay? And so let's go ahead and talk about the journey for yourself here for a second, okay? Because what you're going to find is that as you go through this phase number 1, you are going to undergo one of the biggest evolutions in your entire life. Okay, students have described phase number 1 as seeing for the first time. That's how revolutionary this journey is going to be for you, because you're going to learn how to think completely differently. You're going to learn how to interact with yourself completely differently. You're going to understand how to interact with others completely differently. You're going to learn the science and the art of how to transform somebody's life. You're going to learn the science and the science and the art of transforming your own life. Okay. And so if you're at this stage and you're like, you know what, I don't really feel that well. I don't really feel that healthy. I don't really feel, I'm a little bit pudgy. I'm a little bit overweight. I'm a little bit not having the best habits myself. How am I really going to help other people with this? Well, I want you to know that at the end of this phase, it's going to help you get there. It's going to help you get to the point where you understand what types of habits you have to change in yourself, what types of habits that you don't have to change in yourself, what is okay, what's not okay, all of that good jazz, right? And then also, maybe you already feel pretty healthy, right? Maybe you're somebody who has been always active. You're somebody who is pretty healthy. You're maybe a former athlete. Maybe you're a current athlete, right? Then what this phase is going to do is going to allow you to take this journey for yourself and take that to the next level. Because the thing is that for most successful people, it takes decades for them to learn about what we are going to be teaching you, what you're going to be learning about in this phase. And in just a few modules, you're going to learn what other people, it takes them decades to learn. Okay? And so we found a way to be able to install decades worth of learning and experience and install that into your mind in just a few weeks. And so that's why I'm so excited for you to go through phase number 1. Okay? Now, the other thing, this is a double-edged sword, because that does mean that once your eyes are open, you are now responsible for seeing. You are now responsible to practice what you preach. And so that is sometimes the double-edged sword of knowledge and transformation, is that all of a sudden you now have a responsibility to make sure that you are doing your best to practice what you preach. And don't worry, we're going to help you understand that as well. So your eyes will be open for the first time in this journey for yourself inside of phase number 1. You're going to understand for the first time how the behind the scenes of how life works, how the mind works, how transformations happen, and how wellness works as well, okay? So that is the first journey that you are taking, and that is the journey for yourself. Well, the second journey that you're taking is the journey for your clients and the journey for those that you are going to be helping, okay? Because the funny thing about this journey is that what you're going to go through in how you transform your own life in the journey number 1 is it's funny because you're actually going to be taking your future clients through that exact same journey, throughout that exact same transformational experience, right? And so that same eye-opening experience that you're going to have, you're going to be walking your clients through. Now, the only difference is that obviously it's going to be packaged differently, because obviously they're not going out and trying to become remote wellness practitioners, right? They're not trying to become RWPs. Right? But the overall process is going to be similar. Maybe the way that you deliver it is going to be different, right? Maybe you're not going to be making training videos and these kinds of things. You might. We're going to talk about that in the future, right? What that might look like for you. However, it's going to be a little bit different, but very, very similar. So as you go through this phase, I want you to be able to look at this training through that lens. Okay? I want you to look at our business, right? I want you to look at Remote Wellness Academy, right? Our business. And I want you to see that as a mirror for what you will be doing as well, right? So maybe you remember the direct response ad that you clicked on in order to get access to our free case study, right? Maybe you remember the texts and emails that you received. Maybe you remember the free case study that asked you to book a call, right? Maybe you remember the strategy session that you had with our team. Maybe you remember the intake form and the reminders that you were receiving for the kickoff call, right? Everything that you had done for you when you joined the Remote Wellness Academy, even before you joined the Remote Wellness Academy, when you became a prospect and a lead, etc., we are going to show you how to do all of that step by step in your business, in your career, in your income, and for your future clients. The difference though, and the beautiful part about this, is that in typical RWA fashion, like I was talking about earlier, we're going to give you all of that, right? So you don't have to worry about building anything. You're going to be given all of that copy and paste, plug and play, literally just take it and start using it inside of your new career. How cool is that, right? And so I want you to be able to approach phase number 1 with that lens so you can become the best RWP possible, right? The best remote wellness practitioner possible, having the best remote wellness practice. All of that you're doing through this lens because you understand that this journey that you're taking is not only a journey for yourself, it's also a journey for your clients, okay? Now, let's go ahead and talk about getting through the training. And you can see here the headline that I have on here that says, you do not have permission until you get through the training, okay? Coach Yasin, what the heck does that mean? Well, here's what that means. Some students whine and they complain and they'll blame about, hey, I'm not making any money yet. Hey, I haven't done any, I'm not making progress. This doesn't work. And Remote Wellness Academy, I think what's going on here is I don't really think it's going to work for me. And they do all of this when they have not yet even gone through the training themselves. Okay. And so here's the truth. Our coaches here at RWA, we monitor student progress through the training on a daily and a weekly basis. So we are going to see if you're going through the training or not. We have an entire portal behind the scenes that can see how many minutes of every training you've watched, how long you've spent inside of the portal, what trainings you've marked as complete. We can see everything. And so this is what I tell students. You do not have permission to complain about not having money or not making any money until you've actually gone through the program and you've actually taken action steps, okay? Taken the action steps. And so the truth is that when you don't go through the training, you're not going to make any money. Simple as that. And so your number one goal and objective is to get through the training. You want to make sure that you are taking notes, make sure that you are asking questions. Your number one objective, the very first thing. Because before you can take action, you got to know what it is that you got to take action for, right? The very first thing that you have to do is you have to make sure that you understand the material, okay? And so you want to make sure that you are dedicating the time, you're taking notes, right? And you're making sure that you're doing that consistently day after day after day. Each week, I would recommend you allocate 3 to 5 hours per week. If you can do more, awesome, even better. But make sure that you're allocating the time to make sure that you're going through the training. Because if you don't go through the training, you're not going to understand what it is that you actually need to do, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and remind myself, remind everyone, again, this is not get rich quick, okay? As we have said over and over and over again, before you joined the academy, we said this in the free case study training. We said this in the pre-call homework. We say this on the strategy session. We say this in our kickoff call. We say this in our welcome training. In so many places across our entire academy, we say this is not get rich quick, okay? This is a career change, and it is going to take you time to get through it, okay? We estimate that you should probably set aside the next 3, 4, up to 6 weeks, depending on your schedule, if you're doing this part-time, depending if you're doing this full-time, in order to be able to get through phase number 1 training, so that way you can be successful with the making money part in phase number 2. And I'm going to say this very clearly. If you are money hungry, right? You can see this guy up here. He's chasing money, right? He doesn't see anything else that's going on around him. He doesn't see how foolish he might be looking. He is just, all he is money hungry, okay? If you are money hungry and that's all you are in it for, you will not succeed inside of this program. In fact, you're actually going to struggle hardcore, okay? And as you're going to see inside of the brain training in module number 2, it's actually a paradox of money. Those who are focused only on the money, it's funny. They actually don't make any. And so the goal of phase number 1, it's not going to be here to make you buttloads of money. Yes, we will be helping you make more money than you ever dreamed of and more wealth than you ever dreamed of using the tactics and strategies that you learn in this program. I promise you, we're going to get there. But at the start, your goal is to set the foundation. Your goal is to set the foundation, okay? And so there are many students, some students who, they say, I want to skip ahead. I'm going to miss out on the foundations of remote wellness, right? And even if they do make money, they skip ahead. The clients that they end up getting start hating them because their reputation gets damaged because they don't know how to be a great remote wellness practitioner and they don't know how to deliver transformation, okay? And so what I always say, I'm going to scroll all the way to the top here. What I always say is that phase 1 is about harnessing and getting the power to then put that into production in phase number 2. Power and production. And so phase number 1 is going to allow you to get that power, which you can then put into production in phase number 2. If you try to go directly to production and you don't have any power to put in production, then you're just magnifying nothing. And so phase number 1 is going to be your power. It's going to be where you go ahead and access all of your power that you can then put into production. Okay, so this is not get rich quick. You want to make sure that you are approaching this with an abundance mindset and not with a scarcity mindset and focusing only on the money, okay? Now, last thing here inside of this training, again, like we do in most of the trainings here, comment in the student community. And what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to let us know, now that you know more about the first phase of your journey, now that you know more about phase number 1, what are you most excited about? What are you most excited about? Now, as always, remember, this is your opportunity to engage. We and the other students love to hear from you. We do read all of the comments. So please go ahead and take some time and comment in the student community. Let us know Now that you know more about this phase of your journey, what are you most excited about? So I'm definitely excited for you. I'm super pumped for you to absolutely crush it inside of this program, and I will catch you on the next training.